If you're new to wholesale, or even if you've been in the business for a while, there's a lot of terms and a lot of jargon that's going to be thrown around, typically by your suppliers, that you might not be completely familiar with. And so knowing these terms and really just understanding their meaning is going to position you as someone who knows what they're doing, has experience in the business, and is going to make a supplier just take you a lot more seriously. So real quick, before we get into the meat of the video, like this video if it's helpful. I feel like this video would be really helpful for beginners that are getting into the space. And be sure to comment if there's anything you want me to go into more detail on. And also be sure to subscribe for more, because I try to put out one of these videos every single weekday. So as we get into some of the terms that you're going to be dealing with in a wholesale business, so like I said, these are terms that suppliers are going to throw around. I try to pick terms that are pretty common regardless of the niche that you're in. And like I said, they're going to, like, knowing these terms is going to just position you as someone who knows what they're talking about, right? So the first term to keep in mind is SKU. SKU is the 3 letters. And so that stands for stock keeping unit. And now typically a supplier SKU is going to be their unique identifier in their business to identify a certain product. So you know how Amazon has an ASIN, each individual listing has an ASIN. Well, think about the SKU as the supplier's version of the ASIN, right? So every product is going to have is going to have its own SKU, and then you're going to want to use the SKU when dealing with the supplier and talking about certain products. So for example, if you're trying to order a product from a supplier, you wouldn't reference the ASIN, right? Because they have no idea what that is. You would reference their SKU because that's the unique identifier that they know corresponds to a specific product. And so the second key term to really know and keep in mind is FFA, which stands for free freight allowance. And really all that means is it's basically just a threshold for free shipping, right? So FFAs, you might hear it as FFA, you might hear it as, you know, free shipping or freight allowance, or any of those terms can kind of be used interchangeably. And all that means, again, if the FFA is, let's say, $1,000, well, that means that your order has to be at least $1,000 to qualify for free shipping. So simple as that. One to keep in mind, if a supplier throws that at you, you'll know exactly what they're talking about. Now, the third one, and this one's important because we actually use this one pretty frequently, is BO, and so that stands for back order. And so if a product's on BO or back order, that means that the supplier doesn't have it in stock, and typically there's going to be a lead time of anywhere from a couple of days to possibly a couple of weeks or longer, depending on the manufacturer, for the supplier to get that product back in stock. So again, if you're inquiring about a specific SKU, for example, they might reply and say, oh, it's on factory BO for 3 weeks. And so that just means that if you place an order today, it's going to take your distributor 3 weeks to get it in stock from the manufacturer. And so again, that's a term that you'll use, or that you'll probably see pretty common. We do a good amount of back ordering in our business because oftentimes the best products, your suppliers won't have them in stock. They'll have to order them directly from the manufacturer, and they might take a couple of weeks to get to you. Now, the fourth and final term in this case is going to be pro number. And so honestly, I don't even know what the pro stands for, like PRO, but a pro number is just, think about it as a tracking number for a freight shipment. So think about how whenever you send a package via UPS or FedEx, you get a tracking number, right? And it's typically a pretty lengthy number, or it's got letters and numbers in it, and then you can copy and paste that number into FedEx's portal or into UPS's portal or whichever carrier you use and see the status of that shipment, right? So it's the exact same thing, it's just specific to a freight shipment. So when you're sending pallets, you know, either via LTL, which stands for less than truckload, or via FTL, which stands for full truckload, then instead of getting a tracking number, your shipment's going to get assigned a pro number, which same process as a tracking number. You can go onto the carrier's website, copy and paste your pro number into their tracking function, and see the status of that shipment. So again, pro number, tracking number, essentially interchangeable. And so at the end of the day, those are going to be 4 key terms that you're going to want to know when dealing with suppliers, because if they start to mention a SKU or that a product's on BO or give you your pro number and you don't know what they're talking about, well, then they're probably going to think you're a little newer, and it's not necessarily going to be a deal breaker in some cases, but it's just going to hurt your credibility. So brush up on these terms, use them when dealing with suppliers. It'll make you look a lot more professional. So thank you so much for watching. If you got value out of this video, like I said at the beginning, be sure to subscribe and follow me for more. You can follow me on Twitter at Ganim Corey as well. So thank you so much for watching.